why these people come over here from West Africa and they got that flavor like Jake got, man. Them Africans in the other parts of the world, they're not the people. So, you know, when the elite set up these black consciousness guys, they set up to counteract the truth, man. And you're going to be defeated, man. That Kemetic bullshit going to be pushed out right out the window, and the children of Israel is going to be raised up by way of who? The prophets of the Most High. So we almost out of here, man.
Yeah, I noticed something on the coats of arms of Benin, which Benin was one of the tribes under the Dahomean Empire, which were Jakes. Now they have the horn there, the cornucopia, and inside of the horn they have olive branches.
Oh, boy.
Let's bring that out. The olive, what is that? These are the two candlesticks. Revelation 11, is it?
Revelation 11.
Yeah, if we can bring that out.
Go ahead and bring it out.
My question is this: why is there olive branches located on the coat of arms of Benin? If it's supposed to be Hamitic, what does the olive branches got to do with Ham? When you read the scriptures, the olive branches represent Israel, the Israelites.
This is Revelation 11:1. And it was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise, and measure the temple of the Most High, and the altar of them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not. For it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall be tread under foot 42 months. And I'll give power unto my 2 witnesses, that they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloths. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks.
In sackcloth, I forget the Hebrew word, but it means sackos, which means garments of mourning.
Garments of mourning. That's right. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the Most High of the earth.
That's it. The key word there is olive, the olive tree. Now, to further that, the book of Jeremiah 11:16, which goes right to the point. It says, the Lord called thy name a green olive tree. Now, if we go back to the coat of arms on Benin, it's green. It's colored green. All right?
Hey, look, we wasn't planning on bringing this out, but the mic hit my mouth, and all of a sudden I started going into things, which I already knew.
Yeah.
And it led you to go into other things, man.
Yeah.
So look, 2016, man, the Most High gonna kick us in the high gear, man.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? There's gonna be so many videos out there, man, on different subjects and stuff. Lord willing, when we get time, we're gonna go down to the UN. There's a new monument. What I say, monument? Monument you can call it. Now, remember we went to the African burial ground down there? That was a Levite that put that whole thing together, and he put something together in the UN, all right? And Divine Prospect did a thing on it, right? Now, if you go to the UN with the slave remembrance thing, and they basically, saying remember the black slavery. So when we get time, we're gonna do something more than that. See, the Most High is making these devils bring this truth out, man. And the worst thing that these devils did was allow us to go on the web, Yeah, go ahead and read on. If you go to Sarnetta, this guy did a thing on it, man, but he didn't really go in like we about to go in.
All right, yeah, they got pictures here. Let me see what they got. Let me see. 25. Okay. This is I believe it's called, if I'm not mistaken, it says International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade, 25th of March. Permanent memorial to honor the victims of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade at the United Nations. And they got pictures of the monument. It says the permanent memorial was unveiled on 25th of March 2015, which marks the International Day of Remembrance of the victims of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade. The memorial
just put it up earlier this year, right?
Khan. Yeah, it's
Because we always going past the UN. We done did shows at the UN. In other words, on that site, we did one Elders of GMS on location at the UN. This was back in, I believe it was September of 2013. And we're always going down there, you know, every once a year or whatever to see if there's any new things. So now they got the new thing, this new memorial that this Levite brother did. And basically they're saying to remember the slave. No, you got to do more than remember the slave trade. You're going to have to pay up, man. Okay?
It says the memorial located on the United Nations Visitors Plaza in New York will invite people everywhere to contemplate the legacy of the slave trade.
Man, ain't nobody gonna motherfucking, I ain't gonna contemplate, man. You know? Hey, these Edomite women that been sexually taken advantage of by Bill Cosby, are they contemplating on it? No, they trying to get this guy locked up.
Sue the pants off.
They're trying to sue the pants off of his ass, man.
That's right.
They ain't sitting down and let me reflect upon what he did to me 20 years ago.
Yeah. The hell was
All right?
goddamn reflecting.
These old bitches are mad as hell, man. These old Edomite, he was getting the work in, man. He was getting in work, man. Okay, and you old bitches are trying to get money because if you really, you know, was looking for justice, wouldn't you call the cops right after you got raped? Now I ain't saying that, you know, in this society you can't be raping women, but I'm saying why are you gonna wait 20 years, 10 years? Yeah, they love that Jello the pudding pop, you know. But anyway, look, they're not contemplating. They're not going to forgive this guy. They say you forgive. No, we don't forgive him. Well, why in the fuck should we forgive you, huh? Because so we ain't gonna go down. When we go down there to that monument, memorial, whatever you call it, we ain't gonna be contemplating. We're gonna be getting into them scriptures, man. All right. You Edomites, oh my goodness, what they did, it was horrible. It was terrible what they did. Well, you know what? It's going to be terrible what we're going to do to you.
That's right. It says, and to fight against racism and prejudice today, visitors can pass through the arc of return to intimately experience three primary elements. The first element, acknowledge the tragedy, is a three-dimensional map that depicts the global scale of the triangular slave trade. The second element, consider the legacy, is a full-scale human figure lying in front of a wall inscribed with images of the interior of a slave ship. The element illustrates the extreme condition under which millions of African people were transported during the Middle Passage. The third element, lest we forget, is a triangular reflecting pool where visitors can honor the memory of the millions of souls who were lost.
Notice they said African people.
Yep.
And they know damn well. Yeah, they know damn well we're not no damn African. That we're the real Jews, we're the real Israelites, the chosen people of the Heavenly Father. They know that. But they're going to put that African bullshit there. And they know exactly what they're doing.
Khan. It says in 2007, the United Nations General Assembly agreed to establish a permanent memorial in the grounds of the United Nations in New York City to honor the victims of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade. In 2011, together with UNESCO, the Permanent Memorial Committee launched a design competition. The Arc of Return by Haitian-American architect Rodney Leon was chosen among 310 entries from 83 countries.
I got something to add to you. Yeah, about that African thing. Now, that's found in prophecy, all right? This is the book of Psalm, the 83rd chapter, beginning at the 3rd verse. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. The main thing our people are hidden from is their true nationality, who they really are. And it's not no damn Africans. And beginning with the Rothschilds, they know exactly who our people are. All right? They know that we're the chosen people. They know that we're the Israelites. All right? They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. What nation? The nation of Israel. That's
They
why you
cut
call
the remembrance of them.
the remembrance.
That's why they call us Africans.
Right.
They know they have a department within the UN that's called UNESCO,
Right.
and basically they go around the world and they dig things up. You know, they research. They're historians, so they know exactly who we are.
That's right. That's why the scripture said they have taken crafty counsel. Okay, crafty means to be deceptive, to be devious, and that's what these top elites are. They're deceptive and they're devious. All right, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Who's thy people? You tribes. All right, to keep you away from your nationality, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. That's why they keep calling you African. African, African. They want to drill that word African into your brain.
Yeah, well, they compound it with these guys that they set up
Oh,
to
yeah.
push that Kemetic bullshit,
that
man.
Kemetic
and
bullshit.
people coming out of that bullshit, they find out these guys ain't, for the most part, are nothing but scam
Yeah,
artists, man.
shysters, hucksters, shylocks, charlatans, niggers. Yeah, we're talking about Saw Nigger and the crew. All right? They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. That the name of Israel, now, does it make it any more plainer? Than the name of Israel, not Africa, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Now, the people over there in Israel that's calling themselves Israeli, are they the real Israelites of the Bible? The answer is no. The real Israelites of the Bible are you tribes, man, beginning with you so-called Negroes all the way down to you so-called Mexicans. All right? Like when we put the 12 tribe sign, that's talking about you. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. And then it proceeds to name names, the different nations that came together to make sure we were destroyed from our true nationality. In the 6th verse, it says, the tabernacles of Edom. It begins with the Edomites, the so-called white people.
And another thing, they know who they are.
Exactly. Exactly.
From the elite on down to the top scholars, these average Joe Crackers don't know who the fuck they are.
No.
But the super elite, they know that they're Edomites.
That's right.
And they know that we're the Israelites, and they know that they're going into slavery.
That's right.
And they know that Babylon's going to be destroyed.
That's right.
They know that they're featured in Revelation, the 18th chapter. They know about it, man.
That's right. That's right. That's why they're able to teach a lie, because you can't teach a lie unless you know the truth. All right? The tabernacles of Edom, it starts with them. And the Ishmaelites, that's your Arabs, they're in on it too. Of Moab, that's the Chinese. And the Hagarenes, so-called Africans, the real Africans. Gebal and Ammon, the so-called Japanese. And Amalek. Now, Amalek is the so-called Jews. And Amalek is specifically mentioned because of all the Edomites, our worst enemy is the so-called Jew. Because they're the ones that have actually taken our nationality and taken our land under something called the Balfour Declaration, which I even did a video on that, how they stole the land and divided the land between themselves and the so-called Arabs. So it's right there, brothers. It's right there in prophecy. Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. So right there in the book of Psalms 83, beginning at the 3rd verse, it tells you how these top elites have gotten together to destroy us from knowing our true nationality, which is a Hebrew Israelite or Hebrew Israelites. That's it. You got any
Yeah, I got some scriptures, man. Give me a mic right quick. This right here is Numbers 23:9. For from the top of the rocks I see him, and from the hills I behold him. The him is Israel. Lo, the people, Israel, shall dwell alone and shall not be reckoned or recognized among the nations. Did anybody read Psalms 83 yet?
Yeah, I was just reading.
Okay. All right.
Do you want me to read it again?
That's all right. Let's go. Let's keep the
All right.
energy going, man. Put the logs on the fire.
That's right. You got it, bro. You got it.
All right. Well, you know what? I'll go back and read that again.
Another scripture, man. Psalms 126:1. It says, a song of decrees when Yahweh turned again the captivity of Zion. The word Zion means monument, because the Most High remembers us. All right? We were like them that dream. In other words, when the Most High deliver us, it's going to be like we woken up out of a bad dream. And then you crackers, you're going to be put to sleep, and you're going to be in an eternal nightmare.
That's right. That's right. And because right now, because really when you're in a situation of slavery, it's pretty much as if you're non-existent, because, you know, you're really, you know, you really don't really have a name for yourself, so to speak. You know, this is the book of Obadiah.
Hold up. Well, we had coon names, right? And we got coon names.
Yeah, that's right. This is the book of Obadiah, verse 14. So now what's going to happen, before I read that, what's going to happen now, there's going to be a total role reversal. You know, now you crackers, you Edomites, you so-called white people, you're going to be the ones that's going to be suffering slavery, they're suffering a bad time. Suffering all of them curses that came upon us is going to fall upon you now. You know?
And hold up. Hey, just like we name names, the Most High names names. He don't just put it out there generally. If he said he going to get somebody, he going to name them.
That's right. Yeah. And he gives you the names. This is Lamentation 1:21. They have heard that I sigh. There is Lamentation 1:21. They have heard that I sigh. There is none to comfort me. All mine enemies have heard of my trouble. They are glad that thou hast done it, meaning they were glad when we fell as a people. Thou wilt bring the day that thou hast called, and they shall be like unto me. In other words, it's going to be trading places. You're going to be in the position of the slave, and we're going to be in the position of the master, which is supposed to be the right way.
That's right.
Not because in the book of Ecclesiastes it says, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the ground. You know, so it's going to be totally reversed all the way around. You know,
I got a precept for
Role reversal. Go ahead, Ak.
precept for you brothers. The book of Deuteronomy 30:7, which says, "And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies." Now, all the curses that we suffered in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, is now, because the curses are never totally destroyed. They're just transferred. Just like riches.
Right. You got one group of people on top, and the other people have to play the part. The rest of the people have to play the slaves.
That's right.
And it goes by way of race, raza, which means gene,
That's right.
or nationality. That's why this devil's on top. But wait a minute, you got Barack Obama. Barack Obama ain't nothing but a fucking empty suit, man.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody talking about no goddamn Barack Obama.
He's a cartoon.
He's a cartoon character, man.
Yeah.
This man rules this motherfucker, all right?
That's right.
Excuse my Swedish.
That's right. Deuteronomy 30:7, "And the Lord thy power," beginning with your top elites that rule the society, like Apostle Elatar just mentioned. And yes, they rule at no talent bum called Barack Obama. All right? Yeah, they rule him too. Reading on, it says, "And the Lord thy power will put all these curses." You want to know where the curses are? You go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, beginning at the 15th verse. That's your future so-called white man, beginning with the top elite banking families. "And the Lord thy power put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." And that's the so-called white man. Did he not hate us? He still hates us to this day. All right, he hates the very sight of it. Just the sight of us he hates. As soon as he sees a so-called black man, forget about it. That sour look on his face, that his proud ass face goes up. That's a example of hate, man. That ain't love. So the scriptures